Imagine this, you shout in a canyon, and your echo bounces back a moment later. Now what if I told you that scientists have figured out how to bounce a signal, not through space, but back through time? Yeah, you heard that right, time. Alright, let's break down this mind-bending experiment from some brilliant researchers at the Advanced Science Research Center in New York. The basic idea is simple. In our everyday world, when you shine a light on a mirror, it reflects back. Same with sound, yell at a wall, and the sound bounces. That's spatial reflection. But these researchers wanted to try something way crazier. What if you could reflect a wave in time instead of space? That's called a temporal reflection. Instead of bouncing a wave off a wall, you bounce it off a change in time. It's like if you watched a movie and suddenly the ending played before the beginning, but with all the scenes reversed. Here's how they pulled it off. They sent electromagnetic waves, think radio signals, through a specially engineered material. Right as the signal passed through, they switched the material's properties super fast, creating what's called a temporal interface. It's kind of like suddenly changing the rules of the game while the game is still being played. When the wave hit this time boundary, it reflected, but not in the way you'd expect. Instead of just bouncing back with a little distortion, the reflected wave came out completely inverted, flipped in time. It was as if the signal was running backwards, almost like rewinding a tape. And here's the wild part. For decades, scientists thought this kind of trick would take an insane amount of energy, way more than we could ever use in an experiment. But these researchers figured out a clever hack, a way to make the necessary temporal interface with energy levels that are actually practical. So, what does this actually mean? Well, first off, it's a whole new way to control waves. Temporal reflections could open up new ideas for communications technology, or even help us design materials that are basically invisible to certain signals. And honestly, it's just really cool science. We've been reflecting light and sound for centuries, but reflecting in time? That's next level. Just to be clear though, no, we're not sending messages to the past. This isn't a time machine, but it does show us that the universe is even stranger than we thought, with new ways to manipulate the very fabric of reality. So next time you look in a mirror, remember, someone out there has figured out how to make a signal bounce off the timeline itself. Who knows what's coming next? Thanks for watching, and if this blew your mind, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more science that bends your brain.